Hey guys, welcome back to the video. Today we got a good one for you. We're going to break down an older bait that you may use. You may have a lot of luck, you may not have so much luck, but we're going to break it down and show you what's a good bait, how to look for a good bait, maybe give you some ideas of why you might not be doing so good or how you can do better. So stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. Okay guys, the bait we're talking about today is none other than the spinnerbait. And the first thing I want to talk about, guys, that I feel is most important, some of you might not, but I do, is wire size. And there's two different, this being a Terminator, this is a Boya, but there's two different wire sizes there. You can see this one being a thinner wire. Reason you want a thinner wire on your spinnerbait is it's going to be like a tuning fork. So as this Indiana and Colorado are spinning down there, this is creating vibration too. More vibration sometimes can create more strikes. Another thing I like about it is I like a long flowing skirt, okay? Because as it's coming through the water, this skirt's pulsating, and this tail back here, it just looks like a little tail swimming through. So it causes more of a reaction strike. Okay, guys. This would be your medium speed kind of bait because it's going to have more resistance with the Colorado and the Indiana blade versus, say, something like your double willow blade on this War Eagle. Okay, there's not going to be as much resistance here, so you can burn this. So if I need more speed, I'll go to a double willow. If I need to slow it down, I might go to a double Colorado Indiana. If I really want to slow it down and the water's cold, I would go to a single Colorado blade, and depending on how big the fish are, I would obviously go, the bigger the blade, the slower I can slow roll this, and I would slow roll it across the bottom and get those strikes in the colder water, which would be like now, early spring, pre-spawn, get some of them big females. The other thing to keep in mind, guys, is the gold blades, like this double gold blade on this Terminator, which is tandem, willow to Colorado. They work good at night and in very cloudy conditions. The other condition that I typically look for when I'm using a spinnerbait that seems to work best for me would be when there's chop on the water and some wind. If it's dead calm, they can see that bait, they can really evaluate it quickly, and they realize it's not natural and they just don't want it. Could you use trailers on this shore? You can put, so like this mini Strike King, you put a little curl tail on there, trim up the skirt so the curl tail has a little bit of room for action, and run that. I've even been known to put and caught some really good sized bass on a double bladed spinner like this and ran a 6-inch Zoom Lizard on the back end of it for more action. I mean, so you don't have to use a double curl tail, twin tail, or you could use, or a curl tail. I've used lizards and had some success with them. It's up to you. The other thing I want to talk about, you notice this painted like a little shad, okay? And the back end's chrome. That's another good thing to bring up. Sometimes they want a little bit of paint and chrome on it. And then obviously the willow blade there is chrome. Sometimes at night, you could just go all dark, like this is all black and blue, both the Colorado and the willow blade. This would be a good nighttime lure. If I wanted a medium speed, they weren't chasing. If they are chasing, I'd probably go 2 gold blades, but I'd make it an Indiana willow blade. Go black and blue or white at night, or low light conditions. Guys, the equipment I would use, you could use spinning reel, you could use bait caster, it really doesn't matter. Rod size I would use is probably a 7-foot medium. If I was going up to like a 3/4 ounce or even bigger, I'd probably use a medium heavy or a heavy action rod. Mine, depending on the size of the spinnerbait, could be anywhere, and this would depend also on the size of the fish you're fishing for. Could be anywhere from 6 to 8 pound test to 12 to 15 pound test. This also goes in key with what kind of structure I'm fishing around and the size of the fish that I'm trying to target. A little bit more about the blades. The way I try to figure out what blade I'm going to use will depend on the size of the forage that they're feeding on. So if they're feeding on shad that are about 2 inches, I'd use something like this painted shad blade with the Colorado blade. Colorado blade throw some flash off consistently with this, giving that, shad look to flash. If they're if they're feeding on bluegills, say around ponds and stuff, and the bluegills aren't very big, I might decide to go with an Indiana to Colorado blade, with, trying to match the size of the forage. If they're tearing up the shad, and I don't know, the shad are 2 inches or bigger, I might go with the double willows, because this way I can speed fish it. There's less resistance. I have the profile of the shad, got that flash a little bit, but I can move as fast as the shad. The bluegills tend to move fast, but they can also be just kind of lingering around. That's why I say, the willow to the Indiana blade could work. If I have a mixture, I might run Colorado to Indiana or Colorado to willow blade, mixture of shad and bluegill that they're feeding on. Colors, I stay natural, guys. I like my whites, my pearl shad looking colors, my perch or golden shiner colors. Of course, you can't go wrong with black and blue. When I'm in dirty water or at night, I'm going to either run black and blue or white. These stand out real good in those low light conditions. Where would I run them? For guys that don't know, around dock pilings, down south, cypress trees. Up north, maybe if we have a tree that's out in the water, rock piles, along rock banks, laydowns, and I also like to run it along grass lines. Key is I'm going to run it into that structure. This is going to cause those blades to flare, that skirt to flare, and usually causes a reaction strike. If I'm running it along the grass line, though, there's not a lot of, I'm not going to try to get it hung up. In my opinion, I just don't like picking grass off. So I'm going to run it along the edge, but every once in a while I'm going to snap my rod tip and create that flare that'll create that reaction strike. Guys, that's as good as I can give it to you. If you liked the video, please smash that thumbs up button. If you want to add a comment, something I might have left out, or you have a question, please leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And as always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please smash that subscribe button. It helps the channel out more than I can tell you, and it just lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Guys, spinnerbait's been around for a while. They're a deadly lure. If you don't give them if you haven't really gave them much of a chance, maybe try them. They're fairly inexpensive, and they catch big bass year round. Okay, guys. Well, that'll wrap it up for today. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks.